After 3 movies and 2 guest appearances in the MCU, we finally get an explanation to the line,
"Does anyone have any orange slices?"
What's going on YouTube? My name's Jay Lee and I like a lot of stuff. Today I'm talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We are 31 movies into the MCU with this one kicking off Phase 5, which makes it extra impactful that this movie was just okay. The second movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, was ranked very low on my list of MCU movies, and sadly, I don't think this one ascends the ranks by much. I absolutely adored the first Ant-Man movie, but I think what works in that movie is the ground level heroism in play. He's a hero that talks to ants and shrinks. In that scenario, even Thomas the Train could be a threat in the midst of a battle. It all works. Now that Ant-Man and the Pym Particle have inadvertently expanded the MCU into the quantum realm, thereby proving to be essential in reversing the snap, it would be a bit of a backstep if the series returned to foiling black market deals and hanging out with his ex-con boys. Yet those were the things I really missed in Quantumania. As the title suggests, we spend a lot of time in the quantum realm. Some of it's interesting, but most of it just felt like bad journey to the center of the earth stuff. It's kind of weird that there's so many humanoid looking beings in this subatomic environment, so the creature designs did not blow my hair back. I still think Paul Rudd is hilarious as Scott Lang, but in this, it does feel like he's on autopilot. He's not bad by any stretch. I just didn't feel the lively energy he brought to his first 2 movies, or even the Civil War and Avengers appearances. His daughter, now much older and played by Kathryn Newton, which is a recast from her appearance in Endgame, is mostly fine. Her chemistry with Rudd is solid, but I did find some of her line delivery a bit bland. As a character, she plays an interesting foil to Scott in the sense that he's become quite complacent in his life as a successful Avenger, and is kind of riding the wave of notoriety that comes with that. She, on the other hand, is a young, principled activist with strong opinions about, all the things young people care about. So I did find the family dynamic at the beginning the most fun and interesting. Once they entered the quantum realm, I found myself just numb to all the CG environments and flat character interactions. The Bill Murray cameo was mildly amusing, being played for some ludicrous backstory for one key character, but really didn't make a whole lot of sense. The worst part is the shock value isn't even there for most people since it's in the freaking trailer. Same with the appearance of another character that I won't highlight because trailers these days just show too much. I mean, the inclusion of said character kind of makes sense because it is built off events of the first movie, but in the end, made zero impact. Now onto Kang. Clearly they weren't hiding the fact that Jonathan Majors would be the villain in this movie. As the first Phase 5 movie, it makes sense that they're putting him center stage to be the big bad in 2 years for Kang Dynasty. But the way things leave off kind of made this film feel not pointless per se, but just ineffective. I do think it's important to have the looming threat of Kang that may not be immediate, but is inevitable. It worked for Thanos and it makes sense to get the ball rolling to hype him up, but that makes this movie little more than a stepping stone for future Kang. So much praise has gone to Majors as Kang the Conqueror, and it's all warranted. I think his performance was subtle, complex, intriguing, and on his way to becoming an S-tier villain. He's extremely commanding and menacing as well, which I hate to say was the part of his performance that I didn't vibe with too well, if I'm just being honest. He's a very fascinating presence, and you can tell there's so much more to his backstory that's yet to be displayed. But when he's going off rage mode, I personally found it a bit cartoony. That might change with future rewatches, if I ever rewatch this one, but for now I'm a bit lukewarm on Kang, but still looking forward to his future appearances. There's been some criticism about the lack of Hope Van Dyne's Wasp in a movie titled Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I would argue that Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp, played such a big role in this movie that the co-headliner name is justified. Overall, this movie just didn't hit the mark for me. Does it progress the multiverse saga forward? Absolutely. Does it establish a compelling, powerful, and threatening villain that you want to see again? Sure does. Does it re-establish the holy shit, must-watch, quality MCU blockbuster that we've come to know, love, and hope for with each new release? Nope. The third Ant-Man movie is a largely forgettable foray into Phase 5 that has moments of humor and heart and some good to great Kang scenes. The actual Ant-Man stuff is best when it's Paul Rudd being the lovable deadpan goofball that we know him to be. But if I want to watch stuff like that in the MCU, I'm gonna go back to the first movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania gets a 5.5 out of 10 from me. This movie and Thor Love and Thunder are prime examples that the MCU of late is not without flaws. The endgame of this multiverse saga might age this film differently, but for now it's pretty low in my rankings. Let's hope James Gunn's last dance with the Guardians in May can right the ship and get people excited again. If you made it this far, thank you so much for getting through my horrible sick voice. I have such little time to do this that I'm like, alright, I guess I'm gonna sound like a frog today. Regardless, I hope you come back soon to catch my thoughts on all the stuff I haven't talked about yet.